They also made a sequel, so Jigsaw's legacy was able to live on just a little bit longer. Or maybe it destroyed it.
I want to play a game. Oh, what the Yo! Wake up!
Where am I?
Shut up! I have to start over. I want to play a game. Last year, you tackled my first challenge and came out mostly unscathed. Some would even say you enjoyed it, you sick boy.
Yeah.
The video also put up some pretty good numbers, especially for such a small channel, so good for you.
Yeah, it did pretty well, but, aren't you supposed to be in, like, a full suit?
Budget cuts.
Yeah, I get that. But, hey, that TV's pretty nice, though.
Thanks. It was a bitch getting back here on my tricycle. But let me finish. To this day, the Saw video remains your most viewed, which leaves one question. Did you peak too early? Or is this just the beginning?
I didn't peek, bitch.
My next challenge will push you to your limits. And an experience so excruciatingly ass, you'll wonder if it's even worth it. Get through my next game, and you'll be free. Play or die. Your choice.
Alright. Yeah, I don't have the game.
God damn it.
Why are you getting mad at me? You're the one
You're
that
a
forgot.
bitch.
Oh, fuck. Saw 2, Flesh and Blood. I guess we're doing this. First teased in the original game with a case file, the sequel wasn't officially announced until spring of 2010, with a set release date of fall that same year. A few months later at E3, Tobin Bell was confirmed to be returning, and the subtitle Flesh and Blood was added. You know who wasn't returning though? Original Saw creators James Wan and Lee Winnell, and yeah, you can tell. After the decent success of the first game, Konami planned on making Saw their next big franchise, feeling it wouldn't pose much of a threat to Silent Hill since that series focused on different things. They released Flesh and Blood just a couple weeks before Saw 3D, the big finale for the films, hoping to replicate what Saw 6 and the first game did. But the first game had a trailer for the next film. Flesh and Blood doesn't do anything to let the players know that there's a new movie about to come out. They kind of tease a certain reveal that's in the movie, but unless you've already seen the movie, you're not gonna think twice about it. So it didn't seem like the game and the film were boosting each other's success, and when they both came out and were met with very harsh reception, Konami's plans to extend the game franchise died pretty quickly. I mean, it came out 1 year after the last game, and that doesn't necessarily mean a game is gonna be bad, but with this, I mean, you could literally feel how rushed and lazy it was. Let's get into it. The game opens in typical Saw fashion with you waking up in a trap as a man named Campbell who's looking for his son. We have literally seen this exact trap in one of the films, but they make up for being unoriginal with some unique gameplay. You actually control the knife and make the incision yourself to cut the key out. It isn't much, but it's pretty unique and the exact type of thing that works perfectly for a Saw game, but don't get used to it because there is nothing else like that for the rest of the game. After you get the trap off, we get a quick glimpse at John Kramer, who just does not give a shit about hiding his identity anymore because he is letting everyone see his face in this game for some reason. But the creators wanted to pay for his likeness, so I guess they gotta get their money's worth, right? Before you can really run off, you have to do a quick puzzle, and to get the answer, you literally just look in a mirror. Which brings me to my first big problem, the puzzles and the little mini games, or whatever you want to call them. Now, one of the producers said this at E3.
All the mini games in Saw 2 are brand new.
And unless he's referring to the puzzles or mini games from when you're freeing people, this is kind of bullshit. Yeah, the mini games you have to beat when freeing people are all new, and I do have issues with those as well, but we'll get to them later. The majority of the other little mini games though are most definitely not new, but first I'll briefly mention the ones that are. There's one where you look at a series of images and walk across floors in the order they gave you. Yeah, that's it. As long as you know how to move and can memorize a pattern of like 3 to 4 things, you'll be fine. This pops up a few times and it always felt like they were just throwing it in to give you something else to do. There's a new way to pick locks. You kind of just fly and avoid gears. Sometimes you can also move the gears. Not much else to say about that one. And there's some where you can move numbers and order them from least to greatest, because that sounds like fun, right? Plus there's a few where you rotate some shit and get an image or a code, but these each only popped up like once. Needless to say, these were not very strong at all. For the returning ones, and get ready, we have the matching games, which play a big part here, the gear puzzle, the one where you turn pipes, that one where you sort liquid or whatever, the circuit puzzles, and fuck it, we're gonna count digging in the toilets because I hated that shit. Those controls are broken. Do you notice how they took so many from the first game? And some of you might say, oh, well, the circuit puzzles are different. First of all, barely. Second of all, I would hope they give us at least a little bit of variation when you have to do 1,000 of the damn things. Seriously, if you're in a hallway, be ready to do a circuit puzzle. And keep in mind, this game is 90% hallways. It's just lazy. And yeah, we haven't gotten to some of them, but the fact that they use this many is kind of insane. You can use 1 or 2, like here or there, and kind of pay homage to the first game. And I guess they sort of do that with a couple of them. But when most of your game already feels like a cheap-ass ripoff, it doesn't work. But let's get back to the story and wrap up this section of the game, because you won't be playing as Campbell for very long. This section comes to an end when Campbell is forced to make a choice, sacrifice himself for another player, who isn't even in the room by the way, or live. This decision will matter in the end, but regardless of what you choose, this title drop is weak as hell. They actually have the Saw music in this game, and for some reason, they didn't want to use it here. For the bulk of the game, you'll play as Michael Tapp, David Tapp's son, who was kidnapped from an apartment building where David took his own life. This lets you know that this game is canon to the Freedom ending of the first game, and also, no one saw this happen? Yeah, okay. So tell me if this sounds familiar. You'll play as a man with the last name Tapp, making your way through an abandoned building, freeing people who you happen to have a history with. Complete a bunch of puzzles in between saving these people, and gather case files, recordings, and notes to unravel some sort of mystery. Well, there is one case file that talks about how Allison Carey is too flirty and probably slept her way into becoming a detective. That one was kind of weird. You'll see other people in traps or games of their own, and Easter eggs referencing other Saw projects. And you're strapped to some shotgun contraption, and you're also barefoot. That wasn't even everything. This isn't like a normal sequel that shares some similarities to its predecessor. This was a pretty overt attempt at trying to get away with just releasing pretty much the same exact game. I mentioned the puzzles earlier, and we do still have a few to get to, but there were a few other things that they added or changed, almost none of them for the better, except one thing. This game introduces collectibles, mainly puzzle pieces and billy puppets, but it also keeps track of the tapes and case files. I appreciated having some sort of side quest, and some of the best parts of the game were the challenges when trying to get a puppet. My favorite was probably the one that mixed Morse code with giant chess. I just thought that was interesting. Getting all the collectibles will unlock a bonus video, and it's an interview with Tobin Bell at E3. Honestly, probably not even worth it.
Alright, have fun with it.
They added more mini boss fights, if you can even call them that. There's some guys chained up, just stay out of their range. And also these rhino dudes who charge at you, so you make them either run into stuff or run off a ledge by gently stepping to the side. And yeah, gently stepping to the side is pretty much all you can do because the movement sucks. There is one time you're actually able to fight back, and then another where you could drop a damn crate on them. So that was cool, I guess, but it came a little bit too late. You also save a couple of random people, and one of them returns later with knife hands trying to kill you. Yeah, knife hands. There's 2 chase sequences and everything before you eventually squish him to death. And just like in the last game, there's the random people that'll just run up and attack you. Only this time, the combat system is somehow 10 times worse. At least in the first game, you can actually attack. Here you have to wait for a prompt and then enter a shitty QuickTime event. Whatever weapon you have determines how many hits you have to do, And regardless of that, they all last for just that one fight. Honestly, with how bad this is, I would have preferred to just not have any fights. The game actually has a hard-on for QuickTime events. The combat system. Random ass times where the floor collapses. Even turning on a generator, you have to make sure to get to button mashing quickly. And remember the trapdoors from the first game? Well, now it's 2 buttons to disarm them. And while we're talking about traps, the tripwire traps are laughable this time around. There aren't many, and when there is one, it's in the brightest, most obvious spot. Also, you aren't able to make your own traps anymore, but you make a couple bombs to place in one single spot, and that's it. They also added a best time section, and I'm gonna be honest, not a single fucking soul was looking at that shit, bro. Like, what? Now let's finally get back to Michael and the main story. There are 5 people you have to save, all involved in some type of drug scheme, and each person's role is revealed after you save them. Turns out Michael even unknowingly helped them out by getting his dad fired from the police force, which got him out of their way. Chief Henry is the first person you save. You gotta turn off a series of lights without taking too many turns and setting a gun off in this dude's mouth. This puzzle shows up a lot through the rest of the game, and it's fine when it does, but as one of the main challenges, it is weak, just like most of the others. Before you save the second person, you see Henry talking to Joseph, another cop, about how they want you dead to tie up loose ends. This eventually becomes something you have to deal with quite a bit in these boring segments where they shoot at you and you just slowly move and hide. Sarah is the second person, a drug addict and former informant for TAP, and I guess they dated for a little bit.
And they were right.
Free her by lining up these pipes to drain the water. Just stop them at the right time, and if you get the timing right, they'll link up and drain. You see her soon after asking for drugs, and why would anyone have drugs in here?
Are you serious? We're stuck in this maze from hell, and you wanna pick me up?
That's what I'm saying!
Ugh, fine, you fucking junkie. I've got some over here.
Are you Then you save Joseph, who you just saw talking about killing you, but you don't bring that up though. Turn a set of dials so each has a match and make all the lights turn on. There are 4 sets of these, and with the time constraint, it was a decent challenge. But then they used these a bunch more times in the game, so like everything else, it got old. For Carla, a true glup shitto of the Saw universe, you do simple addition and subtraction. Because that's what you think of when you think about what makes a great Saw trap. Fucking first grade math. Last is Solomon, and you push him around, avoiding fire, and do yet another matching game. He tells you everything so you have the full story, then runs away in a terrible cutscene. After this is when everything comes to a head. The Chief kills Carla, Joseph kills Sarah, Pighead probably kills Solomon, and definitely kills Henry.
You kill me, the entire city will be after you.
Well, Carla was actually just before this, but still. So I guess it's just everybody's time to go die. You run into Joseph, who shoots at you again, and it's so long and boring. Thankfully, it's the last time. It ends with you tackling him through a window and shooting him. You see Jigsaw and chase after him, which leads you to the final game, although your fate is in someone else's hands. Turns out it's Campbell from the start of the game, and there are 2 possible endings, just like the last game. But this time, to access whatever the second ending is for you, you'd have to beat the whole fucking game again. If Campbell didn't sacrifice himself, then Michael just dies in another shitty cutscene. Just look at this Snapchat filter ass blood splatter. When Campbell gets out of the elevator, he sees Jigsaw, who basically tells him to leave and go to his son, but Campbell charges at him and runs right into a trap, of course. Ending on Jigsaw saying his famous line,
Game over.
The other ending, and in my opinion, better one, has Michael receive one last ultimatum. Leave and let the world know what he's learned, or join Jigsaw as an apprentice. Michael struggles to choose, and the game ends with Jigsaw smirking, enjoying the conflict in Michael. This is what the ending should have been. Seeing what happens depending on what you choose for Michael, not one Campbell ending and then one Michael ending. It's cool they tied it back into the beginning of the game, but I played as Campbell for like 15 minutes. I'd much rather see where Michael's story goes. You could still keep that first section of the game, but just make it so Campbell has to sacrifice himself. That way it'll just serve as like a tutorial, introductory level, and then give us a better ending. Like, oh my god, this game is a mess. Saw 2 Flesh and Blood comes across as nothing more than a cheap cash grab sequel. It takes away too much from the first game, improves on none of the issues it had, and somehow made some of them even worse. The majority of the minigames were basically copies, and the rest were just not very good. The combat system was atrocious, and all the added QuickTime elements were ridiculous. If you thought the last game was repetitious, then be ready, because this is a lot worse. You do the same things over and over and over again. Finding a combination to unlock deadass felt like half the game. The first game could feel repetitious, but it always managed to pull me back in. This one never did, and I was often pretty bored. And it didn't help when I had to sit there for 10 years waiting for Jigsaw to start his next sentence.
Gesture of intimacy. Rather than break.
I could feel the care and effort that went into the first game. It was flawed, but it felt like a Saw game made by the fans for the fans. I didn't feel any of that care or effort here. They couldn't even bother to add more bonuses than just the one video. Not even a trailer for the film that they were releasing alongside of. And I didn't even notice until making this video, but the graphics are also a little worse. How? There are some good, enjoyable moments in the game and a few interesting ideas. Very few. They tried to do more with the story and the structure of the game, so I can respect that. And like I said earlier, I enjoyed the addition of the collectibles, and it was nice to hear the Saw music, at least a little bit. But the bads really outweigh whatever goods there are. If you're a casual Saw fan or just someone looking for a game to play, stay away from this. But even if you're a Saw super fan, it's probably not worth it, especially since it's so expensive to get your hands on this. Just skip this one entirely. So that's what I thought of Saw 2 Flesh and Blood. Let me know what you thought. Usually here I'll throw in like a little tease or do like a little skit or something funny to kind of tease what my next video is going to be, but right now with everything I have going on, I'm not 100% sure what is going to be next, but let me know what you would want to see me talk about, and please subscribe. I talk about video games, movies, TV, and more, or go watch some of my other stuff. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Yep, okay. Let's go. You're coming home with me. Come on. Come on.